Alright, hi guys, welcome back to the Mina Does Art Stuff YouTube channel. My name is Mina and on this channel we do art stuff. So today, the day I'm filming this is Wednesday 19th of July. So this is my July art haul, I suppose. And yeah, I have a few videos I've already filmed that I haven't published as of today's date. I have this one that I'm filming, I have a few others I want to film, so I'm not entirely sure what order everything's coming out in, but I'm pretty sure this video is going to come out soon-ish, or at least I'm going to try to, because I believe, yeah, I'm going to try and get this video out either later today or tomorrow, because until Friday, I believe it is, end of day Friday this week, so the 21st, Jackson's is having a sale on Holbein products, so I wanted to get this video out in time for you guys to make use of that. Actually, let me just double check that that's actually true, because I could be completely wrong. Yes, it is still on. I just checked. So yeah, they're having a Holbein sale on all their artist products, not just watercolors but everything. So I have a few items from Jackson's, and then I have a few things that I picked up during the Amazon Prime Day sale. Not too many things, just a couple bits, and a couple of things that I picked up a few weeks ago now. I popped back to the town where we used to live before we moved here. I had a doctor's appointment there, and whilst I was there with my daughter, my youngest, we went for a little walk around town afterwards. We had some time to kill before we had to do our next thing, and I popped into my what used to be my local art store, and I picked up a couple of paints from there that were on clearance, so I have a couple of those to share with you as well. So I guess we should just dive right into it. I'm going to save the Jackson's stuff until a little bit later because that's really exciting stuff. But so first things first, go back, there we go, is this it was referred to on Amazon, I think it's like a journaling storage case. It fits a, oops, upside down, oh there's one more thing in here that I will pull out in a second. So this is the front, there we go, there's the logo. Can't remember the name of the brand, but it has a pocket at the front. This is just a nice neutral grey. It's got a handle on the side, and the zipper pull has a nice strap on it, so it's easy to grab. When you open it up, you have a mesh pocket and a big back pocket on one side. You have two zipper pouches that can Velcro in or out as needed, so that's quite handy and makes it very adaptable. You have another pouch on here, and you have a side pouch here which is supposedly fits a B5 size sketchbook or journal, and I have my B5 Etcher sketchbook. I'm actually planning on doing a sketchbook sort of flip through sketchbook tour, I guess, of this one, because I actually finished it really quickly, and I'm going to talk more about that in the sketchbook tour. But I really like the size. I really like the B5 size portrait style sketchbook, and I haven't actually tested it to see, but yeah, that fits in nice and snug into that pocket. I can of course fit smaller sketchbooks, but I wanted one that would also fit a B5 because I do plan on getting more of these next time they're on sale, because full price these are very expensive. Even on sale they're expensive, but at least it's better than the full price. And I wanted this to create kind of like to use as like a travel art kit when I'm traveling. So we went away, again the video's not out yet, but I did create or put together a small little palette of colours and stuff to take away when we went on holiday with my in-laws a couple of weeks ago. And I ended up taking this pencil case full of stuff, this pencil case full of stuff. I had a couple of sketchbooks, and I had two water cups which were separate, and like I had all these lots of little bits floating around. And afterwards I was like, you know what would be really nice is if I had like one bag that I could pack everything into, and that's it. Like, this is my travel art kit. At most maybe I'd have an extra sketchbook that doesn't go in here, or a pad of paper if I'm taking like a block or something that doesn't fit, but otherwise the idea being that everything would fit into here. So I'd have you know, a pouch for like markers and color pencils, maybe one for like pens, ink pens, pencils, like other sorts of things. So it's basically what I had in my 2 pencil cases. So in one I keep my pens, ink stuff, sharpeners, erasers, masking tape, washi tape, etc. And the other one had coloring pencils and brush markers, like Tombow brush pen type markers in it. And so that's what these would be for. And then things like palettes, paintbrushes, sketchbooks, water cups, the rest of the paraphernalia for painting should in theory fit in the rest. I haven't filled it out yet. I haven't packed it up to see how this works. We are actually going away again as a family in about 3 weeks time. So I will pack this to take on that trip. We are doing it as a road trip, so we're going by car, so I'm not too worried about weight, but I do want to maximize space. So I don't want to pack too much stuff, but I also don't want to not take what I want to take, if that makes any sense. So yeah, I'm going to use this as my art kit for that trip, and I will endeavour to film a video of me packing it, showing what I'm planning on taking with me, and then I'll do like a follow-up once we get back to see how it actually worked out and see if it's any good. So I will link this. It wasn't cheap. At the time when I purchased this on Amazon, even on Prime Day sale, it was about £27, which is not the cheapest thing, but they are cheaper if you get the smaller size, which fits an A5 sketchbook. So I guess it's more like this sort of dimension. It's a small. I went for the large one because I knew in the future I'd want to get more of those B5 etcher sketchbooks, and I wanted one that would fit those if I wanted to. But this is, I have the A5 landscape one. It could fit in the front pocket, and it will also easily fit into here as well, of course. So it'll fit anything up to a B5. So that was this one. I'm really happy with it. I like the color. I like the fabric. It feels nice. It feels really sturdy and well made. The zip feels good. And I like that the Velcro pouches are removable quite easily, because one thing I did when I was traveling this time, we had the car again as well, was sometimes if I knew I was going to be in the car while my baby was napping, I would take one of my pencil cases and a sketchbook, and I'd have that in the car so I could do some doodling or some drawing or whatever while she was sleeping. And so I like the fact that I could still just take a pouch, my sketchbook, and take that separate from the rest. I wouldn't have to take everything with me if I wanted to take a little just a little something to have in the car while the baby sleeps. So yeah, that's that one. Like I said, there'll definitely be a more in-depth sort of video of me packing this and seeing how it's going to work for that sort of purpose. And on the same veins as traveling and art, I picked up this travel paintbrush set. So the travel paintbrushes that I have currently that I use are, let me grab them. I have 4 that I use. I have a couple more than this, but these are the 4 that I actually found enjoyable to use. So one is this Tintoretto size 6 sort of mop type brush, which came with some Gallo paints that I purchased last year, I believe it was. And this is a really nice sort of small mop brush, nice size for travel sketching. Okay, I'm going to have to get the end a little bit wet just to get those brushes to stick together. And it does have a little hole at the end so the water can evaporate out. I have this Jackson's own brand synthetic size 9 travel brush. They only have it in this one size, but I find it's a really nice sort of larger size brush. Works really well as it's synthetic. It doesn't hold too much water. And then I have an Escoda size 6 Ultimo, which is a nice small, not super sharp point, but a nice little brush. And then I have one of these, I think it's, which brand is this? Oh, the Famui in the size 4. It's a nice detail brush. I do have a couple of bigger sizes of these, but I actually don't like them as much, and I prefer the size 4, so this is the one that I use. And I like that it screws on and off, so the cap doesn't come loose. But during the Prime Day sale, I found I was missing some different shapes, like a flat brush or a dagger, something just a little bit different in my travel brushes. So in the Prime Day sale, I found this set, also by Famui, I believe. Yeah, same brand as the last brush I showed you. And they also screw on and off, which I find is great. And so this one came with a long round 4. I haven't tried these yet, but you can see how much longer this bristle is. The bristles on this brush are compared to, it's more like a rigger than this one. So the one on the right is what I would consider a standard size 4. The one on the left is definitely a longer brush. So it comes with the 4. It comes with an 8, which is also a really long bristle type brush. Then it also has a size 8 dagger or sword. I don't know what you like to call that shape. It's like a slant, longer bristle with a slanted edge. I think most brands call that a dagger. And then this last one is a size 8 flat. So it looks like a 1/2 inch type or a 1/4 inch. I haven't measured it. I think it's a 1/4 inch flat, which I thought for a travel set is a nice size to have. So I got this set because I don't have anything like any of these shapes in my travel brush set. My travel brushes that I currently have, all my travel brushes are rounds, and I have one sort of mop style one. So I thought these would be interesting to add to that collection. And like I said, I haven't tried these yet, so we'll maybe get around to testing these out when we're swatching later. And then a couple of other bits I got from Amazon. I got one of these, I finally decided to get one of these Transon gouache sort of wet palettes. These have been all the rage for a while here on YouTube. Everyone seems to use them if you're using gouache. It has this little silicone lid to keep it airtight. It helps keep the paints moist and the gouache from drying, helps the gouache from drying out. You can use the lid here as your palette if you'd like. And often you can buy this that comes with a corresponding water cup, but I already have the same water cups individually. It doesn't quite like slot in completely, but I mean, I've already got plenty of these water cups. I don't need it anymore. So I just got the actual palette. And yeah, so I look forward to filling this up with some gouache at some point. So hopefully I can be more inclined to use my gouache. Right now I find it's a bit of a faff getting it out, and I don't tend to do it as often as I would like. So I'm hoping this would help with that. So that's this one. And then from the brand Artway, which you'll know I've tried some of their sketchbooks before. I don't know what I was looking for, but then this popped up and I just thought it just looked really interesting. I hadn't seen anything like it before. It's not marketed as watercolor paper, so I don't think it's got any sizing in it. We'll try it out and see what it's like. But it's marketed as a concertina sketchbook, but it's actually like 4 sketchbooks in one. So rather than your traditional concertina sketchbook with the pages just go back and forth, it's like 4 sketchbooks just glued together opposite sides. So I don't know if you can see that, how that works out. So you've got a sketchbook there, then a sketchbook on this side, then one on that side, and then one back on this side again. So you've kind of got 4 sketchbooks in one, which I thought was really cute, really interesting. It came in a few different colors. I picked this sort of purpley maroon color. And this is about 4 3/4 inches or 12 centimeters by 16 centimeters or about 6 1/4 inches. So it's quite small, about 4 by 6, a little bit bigger. The paper is not thick at all. It's fairly thin. It's like a drawing paper. It's got a slight texture to it. But I'm going to try it out and see how it handles wet media, just to see if it can take light washes or anything like that, or is it just going to be really terrible. So we will try that out later as well. And the other thing I got, and this one is marked as being, it's also by Artway, is their tree-free sketchbook. Tree-free paper, internally sized and acid-free, premium quality cotton rag paper. So this one is marketed as being suitable for wet media. It's not super thick. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's about 200 GSM. Or 250 GSM, I can't remember. And the paper isn't 100% perfect. It definitely has some like specks and flaws in it, which is very typical for like a more handmade style paper, or in this case this is cotton rag, so I believe that that means it's cotton fibers that are reused from the garment industry. So you are going to find little specks and imperfections in the paper. It's not 100% perfect. Like you can see there's some like creasing in the paper. That doesn't bother me in like a sketchbook format like this. It's just for fun, and I was just curious. It was really well priced for what it is. You get 20 sheets. This is A4 size, and I think it was only like $7.99 or something. This wasn't in Prime Day deal, but I just wanted to try it out. Like, so you can see here there's some imperfections in the paper, but that's, like I said, to be expected with this type of paper, and I'm not too worried about it. So we will try this one out and see how it handles water media as well. And then the items I picked up from my old local yarn store, on clearance they had some Daler Rowney and some Rowney paints before they were Daler Rowney. So they had Cadmium Yellow Pale by Daler Rowney Artist Watercolour, and that's PY35, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, PY35. And then also by Rowney, this is like really old, is their Brown Madder paint. So I wanted to try that out compared to some of the other sort of Brown Madder or quinacridone burnt scarlet type colours. And I also got a tube of the transparent Gold Deep. I believe this is a new paint from Winsor & Newton. The tube looks, the branding on the tube looks ever so slightly different than the other style of, the other newer style of Winsor & Newton tube branding. Let me see if I can find one to show you what I mean. Okay. So this is what the Winsor & Newton current style looks like. This is their Indian red. And then this is what this one looks like. So you can see this is like shiny and this is matte, but otherwise it looks exactly the same. So on the rack at the art shop, these ones were the only ones like this. All the other colors were like this. So this makes me believe this is a slightly newer paint tube. And the art store didn't have any quinacridone gold left, but they had this, which is, and this was on the slot on the racks that was labeled as quinacridone gold, but all the tubes were this transparent Gold Deep. So I believe, maybe, I'm not 100% sure, I don't know for exact, I don't have any sort of official confirmation from the brand themselves, but I think this might be Winsor & Newton's replacement for quinacridone gold, because one of the pigments they use in their mix is being discontinued. If you saw my quinacridone gold comparison video, which I'll try and remember to link in the description box below, I talked a bit more about the pigments that are being discontinued, and one of the ones being discontinued was one of the pigments that Winsor & Newton use for their quinacridone gold. So I got this so we can compare how this looks compared to some of the other quinacridone golds that I have. And this is made up using PR179, so that's Perylene Maroon, PV19, some kind of quinacridone violet, and PY150, which is a nickel azo yellow. Oh, the Brown Madder, the only thing I don't know is what the pigment is, because there's no pigment information on the pan and there was none on the packaging, and the company doesn't exist as Rowney anymore. They're now part of Daler Rowney, so I have no way of finding out what this is. If anyone knows how I can find out what the pigment information is for this Brown Madder paint, please let me know. I'd love to find out. Okay, so that's everything that I got from Amazon and from my old local yarn store. And next up we have the Jacksons order. So first up, I picked up this Holbein Artist Gouache. It's like an introductory set, and it was only £9.50. Like their introductory gouache and introductory watercolor set, and I think there's one other introductory set. They're all on sale for £9.50 at the moment on Jackson's, at least in the UK. I don't know what the prices are for international purchases. And so with this one you get a tube of carmine, lemon yellow, ultramarine deep, ivory black and permanent white. So I thought for £9.50 that's a really good value. That's less than £2 a tube for Holbein gouache here in the UK. That's a really good price. So I thought that would be fun to add to my gouache collection. And then they had some new Holbein paints in Jacksons, and these only come in half pan, or pans I should say. They're not half or full size, they're something in between. And they're called Shinganzai watercolors by Holbein. So the pans aren't labeled, but I do have my purchase sheet thing here next to me, so I can tell you what all the colors are. So I'm just going to get them all out and put them in some semblance of an order so I can tell you what the colors are. Okay, I think they are in, okay, so it's 11. $13. Okay, so there's no, I think there was pigment information on the actual, on Jackson's website. So if when we come to swatching, if I can find the pigment info, I'll write it down on the swatches. But we have light green, olive green, deep green, indigo, Prussian blue, turquoise blue, violet, and yellow. I only picked up 8 colors. They're currently on sale on Jackson's for £2. £2 each. So I figured for £2 each, I thought I'd get 8 of them to try them out. And the pan sizes, it's not quite a full pan, as you can see here, but it's not a half pan either. I'm trying to see if I've got a half pan around to show you the difference. One second, let me go grab one. Here we go. There's a generic half pan next to it as well. So you can see they're not, it's somewhere in between. It's not quite a full pan, it's not quite a half pan, it's a pan. So yeah, I will label these up. I have pulled out an old palette that has no paints in it, and we will pop them in here when we come to test them out. Okay, and the last thing, which I'm really excited about, and I've been hoping and hoping that Jackson's would bring this in stock, and this was really the reason I placed this order, and the other bits kind of just jumped in the cart for the ride, as it were. And I'll have everything here linked down below. If you like anything, if you want to purchase something, please feel free to use the links below. It really helps me out. They are affiliate links. Doesn't cost you anything extra. It just means that I get a small commission if you purchase an item using one of my links. And yeah, it's a great way to support the channel without it costing you anything extra, which I always appreciate. Okay. It's the new Holbein palette. So excited. I got the 30 well version. It comes with 30, there's a 30 well version or a 24 well version, I believe. I'm a bit of a maximalist when it comes to colour, so I went for the larger one. And it's a beautiful red colour, which I absolutely am so excited about. It's, if you've ever had one of those Paul Rubin palettes, or I think Meaden sometimes sells them. Let me grab one to show you. One of these type of palettes from Paul Rubens. It's the 30 well one is marginally larger than one of these. This one actually stores like a mix of like handmade paints that I don't have in other palettes at the moment, so I haven't got the inner part in there, but it usually comes with like a 24 wells or 33 wells inside palette. But the Holbein one is ever so slightly bigger lengthwise, but widthwise it's about the same. So that's interesting. It has a nice little clasp on the side. It's white on the back, clasp on the side, and it opens up. It's so exciting. And these are some extra wells. I'll come to that in a second. So you've got 15 on this side, 15 on that side. And the unique aspect of this palette the wells are removable, which I think is so clever. They just pop in, pop out. You can have just 30 standard wells. The palette itself comes with 4 large wells and 2 extra small wells. You can buy these separately through Jackson's as well. And yeah, so if there's a colour that you use a ton, like a lot more than others, then you can put them in the larger wells, which take up the space of 2 smaller wells, which I think is a really good idea. You have 3 smaller mixing areas on one side and 1 large mixing area on this side, which I think is really fun. And yeah, it's just a really lovely sized palette. I need to really think about what colours I'm going to put in here, but I was so excited to see it on Jackson's, and considering they were having a Holbein sale at the time, it made it a lot more affordable. I think this ended up costing £27 in total, so I don't know what the non-sale price is. I don't actually know if Jackson's still have it in stock, to be honest, but I will link it below in any case, as well as the 24 palette version. And yeah, I'm really excited about that. Ever since I heard about Holbein bringing out this palette, I've been waiting and hoping that Jackson's would be stocking it at some point so I could get my hands on it. All right, I'm gonna sort of get everything set up to do some swatching, and I will be right back.